Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. We have a brand new tank for you, and it is the Somua Sm, a French tier 8 autoloader heavy. Now we are going to compare this to the AMX 5100 because the gun is pretty much the same. You know, it's not a bad tank, but we'll get through to the tank after we get through the stats. So 1910 base DPM, sorry, and a bit worse than the AMX, but you know it's not great, but it is an autoloader. Autoloaders usually have quite low DPM. The penetration is exactly the same at 232, and it has a 310 alpha. The rate of fire 6.16. The reload is 23 seconds and 0.21. So that is a little bit up from the AMX. So that is a quite steep of difference there. That's quite a heavy reload, 23 seconds for a 310 alpha shot. So you really have to play this tank carefully, especially when you're on a big reload. Aim time 2.03, again slightly worse than the 5100, and the dispersion is slightly worse as well at 0.337. But what this tank does have over the AMX 5100 is the 10 degrees of gun depression compared to the 6 of the AMX. Also, the difference really for this tank over the AMX is the speed is a little bit slower, but mainly the armor. The only thing that's really better about this tank is the armor profile and obviously the 10 degrees of gun depression. It does have a nice turret. It does sort of you can get some bounces, especially when you are using that gun depression to the max, but it's not special. The tank isn't special. If you compare that to the AMX 5100, I mean, you look at all the green on the AMX 5100. I mean, so it's a bit different. It is a bit different, but is it worth it? I don't think it's worth. I don't think because it is in crates as well. I don't think it is worth trying to get. I'm always going to say that anyway with the crates, but you could just go and get yourself an AMX 5100. Now, it does have that nice turret armor, as I've said, 200mm, 100mm on the side as well, and it also has 155mm on your hull. So against tier 7s, you can, especially medium tanks, light tanks, etc., you can get the odd, troll bounce. So, but it is a heavy. You would expect to get some bounces in a heavy. But then, having said that, it is French, so don't expect too much with the tank. As I said, it's in crates. It is in crates. At least it's for gold crates and not money crates. But, you know, I said to Wargaming, it's crates again. And they literally replied, yeah, but it's gold crates. That makes massive difference. It does make a little bit of difference because people do save the gold. People have got gold on their account from numerous of different ways, from watching adverts or selling collectible tanks, etc. So at least we have that. At least, I mean, if you do have the spare gold and you want to buy the crates, then I suppose at least you're not spending your real money like they do on the other crates, like real money crates, like the AMX M454 with the stupid price that is at. But at the end of the day, I wish Wargaming would reconsider their sales, because it used to be tier 9 and tier 10 tanks in crates only, and then tier 8, 7, etc. comes for direct sale, for either normally for money and then for gold. But Wargaming over the last year or so, maybe even a bit longer, they've just decided that pretty much all new tanks will come in crates. And I do get that. I do get what they're doing, because if they just sold this tank outright, then, I mean, you're just selling the tank. Whereas if they sold it in crates first, they're not selling you the tank, they're selling you crates, and most people will not get the tank. So they're spending the money. So Wargaming are earning money from the crates, but that people are still not getting the tank. Only a certain number of people will get the tank, and then of course in 6 months time or whatever, Wargaming will then sell the tank. So all those people that bought the crates to get the tank and didn't get the tank are now going to spend even more money in buying the tank itself. So basically they're earning double, like they're earning twice from the same person. So I do get that from a business side, and I do understand that from a customer side, that we're just getting fed up with it. We are getting fed up that it's just constant crates. On the other hand, like I said, I do understand Wargaming's point of view. It is a business. They do need to earn money, but you know, I just think there's different ways. I don't think that they need to sell crates for everything. Okay, fair enough, maybe the odd tier 8, tier 9 and tier 10, fair enough, sell them in crates. But come on, do they really have to sell crates for tier 8? No, they don't. I'm sure they would get a lot more people buying the tank than they will people buying the crates. But as I've said, it's gold, so you can get gold for free. You can watch the ads, etc, etc. Now, that game there was probably one of the easiest games I've ever had. The enemy wasn't good at all. Now, this game is frustrating. It is very, very frustrating. Now, you can see I'm trying to get on a ridge line. I don't want to cap, because if I cap, then I'll be exposing my upper hull and a bit of my turret. So there's a few tanks looking at me. Obviously, we have the KV2 that is up there. Yes, I know he's a tier 6, but the problem with failed tunes, I don't mind failed tunes. Usually I'm not scared. If I'm a tier 8 coming up against a tier 6, it's not that scary. And I know the KV2 isn't a great tank, but the problem with coming up against the KV2, that it's always going to do damage, because he's always just going to shoot HE at me. So even though it's going to be difficult dealing with tier 8 tanks, he's still going to be doing damage to me, and that's what I'm a bit weary of. I'm a bit afraid of just poking up and thinking, it's only a tier 6, because he's only going to shoot HE and he can still do 200 to 300 damage, which is still going to affect me. So I do still have to be careful, and I don't want to just sit there and think, it's just a tier 6. So I am being quite weary of the KV2. So that is 2 tanks now down to the enemy team. Now 2 tanks down for us, and you can see he's going to splash me there. And I mean, 326 damage. That is 326 damage I could have dealt. I might need that later on. And this is actually going to be, it's a terrible game. It's a terrible game, and there's things that I could do differently about this game, and I don't really realise that until after the game, after the battle. Like, I don't want to push now, because when you're on a reload, because it's 23 seconds, which is a massive reload for a tier 8 autoloader, you can't really do much. You really can't do much because of that reload. Now, it's a 4 versus 4. We are losing on supremacy points, and there is going to be, it's now 3 tanks on the enemy team. So I'm thinking, okay, do you know what, we can hold this, but there is an AT-15 on the enemy team that is going to start capping B, and because he starts capping B, that's just going to put even more pressure onto us. So at this point of the game, or this point of the battle, I am trying to deal with this yo. Now I'm on a reload. I could actually use this time to either go towards B and try and recap that, but I'm thinking I just haven't got enough hit points to deal with an AT-15, because that has a 4,000 DPM. I really need to deal with these 2 guys. Now, I could have used I could have gone a bit sooner and tried to get into this hold down position, because as you can see now, we have reloaded, we have got ourselves into a better position, but we are going to make a little mistake in a minute. We're going to shoot there, and he's now a 1-shot. Now, I accidentally just come out of sniper mode before I shoot. I've got a habit of doing that, and because of that, I actually bounced. Now, if I wouldn't have bounced that, I could have actually come out a lot quicker. Now, this is where I'm going to make another mistake. Now, they have 2 cap points, 2 caps, and they're on almost just over 800 supremacy points. I'm just at this point thinking, right, B, go to B. But as soon as I see the AT-15 go there, and I'm thinking, right, okay, this now was a stupid decision. Maybe I should have let my teammate come to this B, or maybe I could have come to this B and told him to stay at C. So actually what I'm doing is, I know he's on his way to B, so I'm going to ignore B and I'm going to head towards C, because I know that's what they are recapping. So it's a bit unfortunate, and this is the thing with supremacy. Sometimes you lose games that shouldn't really be a loss. Sometimes you win games that shouldn't really be a win. And unfortunately for me, this game, it is the other way. So we have like now lost this game. We are going to take care of the AMX, but unfortunately that is all we're going to do. Now, this easy could have been a win. If this wasn't supremacy, it would have been a win. But, you know, still 5k damage. So overall, a good tank, but nothing special, and definitely not worth trying to buy crates for this tank. I'd wait for it to be sold. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you soon. Bye bye.
with